Today I'm going to be reviewing a new travel razor option, and so I decided to go ahead and do an impromptu travel shave at home. Hello everyone, I'm gwsmallwood, the shaving disciple, and like I said, today I'm going to be reviewing a new travel shave option that a friend on Facebook, Domenick, sent me. So I had never seen these before, but this is a disposable double-edged safety razor. So this is a McKesson Performance Plus prep razor. So kind of a surgical prep razor, I'm assuming, is what this is meant to be. You can find them on Amazon. So you can find these for as low as about 27 cents a piece. I think they come in packs of like 24. So if you compare that to like a Bic two-blade disposable, which is another common travel razor, those I think are like 14 cents a piece or something like that, 10 cents a piece. So it's a little bit more expensive than a typical double-bladed cartridge, but still not bad. So the problem with traveling with a DE is if you do carry-on only, you can't take your DE blades. So that leads to having to check bags, which I try to never do. Or another option some people use is they mail blades to their hotel they're going to be staying at. That's a pain, and half the time you don't know if they're going to lose the envelope or not. Or some people just rely on stopping in a convenience store or somewhere to buy some double-edged blades when they get to their destination. Again, if you're going on a one-day business trip, or like I did a trip to Israel a couple of years ago and you can't really find blades easily in the stores over there, it's not really an option for a lot of people. So what are you going to do instead? Most people end up with cartridges, and me personally, I get terrible shaves from cartridges, so it's not a good option for me. So when I saw this, I thought this might be a good option. So we're going to give it a try today and see how it shaves. Since we're evaluating the travel razor, I decided I'd do a little travel shave. So my soap I'm using is going to be Mystic Water Barbershop, and this is one of her samples. So it's a pretty generous size, but it's a good travel size. You just break off a little corner there. I can probably get at least 8 shaves out of this, probably 10. So, and then for my aftershave, I have another sample. I'm using a sample of Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Doppelganger F-Bombs today. So when you're traveling, a lot of people don't take bowls. You can always palm lather, you can kind of face lather, although it's difficult if you're using a soap sample to face lather. I have seen some people just kind of rub the soap puck on their face against their grains and then do a face lather after applying the soap that way. I typically try to take a bowl of some sort, so I just kind of pressed my corner into my bowl here. Another, I won't say essential because it's not a must, but another good thing for travel, synthetic brushes. They're durable, they dry very, very quickly and easily, and you don't got to worry about them getting kind of musty and funky smelling while you pack them. So today we're going to be using sample soap, sample aftershave, synthetic brush, and disposable travel razor, double-edge travel razor. I'm going to go ahead and get lathered up, and we'll get on with the shave and see how this disposable double-edged razor does. Alright, so got my Mystic Water Barbershop lathered up in my Captain's Choice copper bowl. So this makes a decent travel bowl just because it's not breakable. I know Sterling also makes a collapsible, well, they don't make, but they sell a collapsible bowl that they advertise as being very good for travel. I've never actually tried that one. Again, like I said, you can always palm lather or kind of use a small sample as a shave stick. Or you could just use a small shave stick as well. I know there's a lot of vendors that sell the tubes that you could kind of turn your own soap into a stick form, or you can buy a small thing of Arco if you like Arco. There's lots of different options for travel. I tend to just keep little bits of these samples and take them with me, or I have some small tubs that some samples have come in that I'll transfer some of my soap, just kind of scoop it into the small tubs to take with me. Seems to work well. So Mystic Water makes a very, very good soap. Still, I think one of the top performing soaps on the market, and it's not full of all the fancy butters and oils and all that stuff that you're seeing nowadays, the milks. It is tallow, lanolin, it's got some clay, it's got some silk, but really it's a pretty basic formula, but it is a fantastic performing soap. Her scents are typically on the kind of mild to medium side. This one I would say is probably hovering right around medium. The barbershop it's nice. It's not bright and citrusy like a Londony barbershop. It's kind of got a really subtle floral note to it. It's nice. I might actually get a full tub of this. Alright, so we're lathered up. Let's see how this does. I typically use aggressive razors, and I'm assuming this is not going to be aggressive. You can kind of see it's maybe a neutral blade exposure. It's got a decent amount of gap there. I just, with the lightness of the razor, I just don't anticipate it's going to be very efficient. But we're going to try it out. One thing I do not know, I don't know if anybody has ever tried to travel with these before. I assume they're going to be fine. The cap doesn't really come off, so that blade is secured in there. So I don't see this being any different than a double-bladed cartridge. But I don't know of anybody who's actually tried to fly with one of these yet. So if you have, and it has worked or it has not worked, leave me a comment below. I'm curious. So let's see how this goes. So I can definitely feel it cutting, but the top of my head is not the best test either, because that is where I am missing most of my hair. And I can hear it cutting. There is a tendency to want to apply pressure because of the fact that it's so light. So I didn't mention, I didn't weigh this razor because I don't have a scale that's sensitive enough to actually read it. That's how light this thing is. It's just hollow plastic. It is meant to be disposable. Now I know there's a lot of people who don't like it because of that fact. I had some comments on my unboxing. Some very valid points that were made about, you know, this just kind of further contributes to trash in the landfills and isn't very environmentally friendly, and I get it. I completely understand. But until we get TSA to let us take safety razor blades through the checkpoints, I don't really see any other option. Because it's either one of these or a cartridge. Yeah, so far, it feels like it's cutting well. I'm very surprised. It's not aggressive, but you can feel the blade cutting. This razor is about 95 millimeters total height. It's got about a 89, 90 millimeter handle on it, which for me is typically a little bit longer than I like, but when you're talking a razor this light and it's disposable and you're only using it for travel, yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm not going to nitpick. know if you guys can hear that on camera, but it's got some audible feedback. The blade's not chattering, so it's secured fairly well. I'm really surprised. So yeah, I would really like a good option for, again, those trips where it's not really an option to mail blades, you're not checking bags. Like I said, we went to Israel a couple of years ago, and we did carry-on only for, I think it was 2 or 3 days of flight time and 7 days of actual time there. But we managed to do it with carry-on only, and I took a cartridge razor because I didn't see any other options at the time. I actually talked to some people on some forums who lived in Israel, and I was able to ask them, you know, hey, are blades kind of easy to get there? Can I find them at a kind of a convenience store or a drugstore? And they were like, no, pretty much have to order them online. Same way, they're even less available there than they are in the States. So yeah, I took a cartridge razor and got pretty awful shaves while I was there, but you know, I did what I had to do. And that was an amazing trip. If we ended up taking the trip with an organization called Telos, and it's in effect it's a mission trip. So Telos' mission is peacemaking in the Middle East, and it was a fantastic trip. If anybody watching this ever has a desire to go to Israel, I know it might be a while before that's an option again, considering everything that's going on over there. But if you ever have a desire to go again, I highly recommend Telos. So you will get more out of your trip with them. It's less sightseeing, although you do hit most of the major things that you would want to see, but it's more about the people. And we actually wrote a blog article about it. I'll post that below, but you know, we got to spend time with Jewish rabbis. We missed our opportunity to spend some time with a Muslim cleric. He ended up having some emergencies come up, but that was part of the itinerary originally. We did some tours of the refugee camps. We visited a place called the Tent of Nations. We had the opportunity to do a Passover meal with a Jewish family, which was awesome. So the trip is all about getting to know all of these people who live there and understanding both sides of the story, and that both sides are valid. So it was a fantastic trip. Like I said, highly recommend it. So this razor, so far, feels like it's doing a decent job. We will find out here in a minute when I do my rinse whether that was really true or not, but it feels like it's cutting well. Alright, let's do my rinse and check it out. Alright, so I just finished my rinse, and I am really surprised at how effective that was. So that was a single pass across the grain, which I sometimes do on some of my less efficient razors, but even my least efficient razors are still on the high end of medium, probably low end of aggressive. So this razor, I would say, is above medium in efficiency. It's got a decent amount of blade exposure. It definitely has a lot of blade gap. You can feel the blade when you use it, but it's not menacing. It doesn't feel like it's going to cut you or anything. And it's not scrapey. I was really surprised how smooth this blade was. So I would say, for me, it's probably a close, comfortable shave. It's not quite as close as what I get from, you know, like my super adjustable or my slim. But it's not bad at all. This is way better for me than a cartridge. I don't think I get results this good with a cartridge, not to mention the comfort. So very, very surprised at how effective this was. So let me go ahead and finish up with my post shave, and I'll come back with some final thoughts. So I finished up off camera with my shower and my Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Doppelganger F-Bombs. Really nice aftershave. So the verdict on the disposable double-edged razor. Surprisingly really good shave. So it wasn't the closest shave I've ever had, but it was a single across the grain pass, so remember that. If I tried to take this against the grain, I suspect it probably wouldn't disagree with my skin too much to go against the grain with this razor, and I'd probably get a very similar result as I get with my aggressive razors without going against the grain. So I think it's a very viable option. Again, the big assumption here is you can get this through a TSA checkpoint, which I do not know. If anybody has ever tried to, let me know whether you succeeded or not. Again, per the rules and the advertisements on the TSA checkpoint, this is a fixed blade. It does not come out. It's not removable. It's a disposable razor. It should be acceptable. So again, you can find these on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. They're a really good option, assuming you can get them through a TSA checkpoint, and I probably will buy some. So thank you, Domenick, for sending me these to try out and evaluate. It just lets me know, and hopefully everybody else know, that there is another option other than cartridges for air travel. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.